Hi everyone, welcome back. In today's video, I'm going to go through with you my 2023 setup and how I came to the setup. So I've been working on this for quite some time, as I know a lot of us have been. And what I did, and what I often do actually a couple times a year, is just do a brain dump on what's working and what's not working. So I wrote it all down so that I can share it with you, but also just to get it out of my head and on paper. And so far, I feel really good, and I'm really excited to, start all the plans for next year. Okay, so what was working? Definitely my day on one page inserts for the slower months and day on two pages in my busier months. I recognize that I don't need the day on one page or the day on two page all year long, because then it's a lot of wasted space. So during my non-busy times, to have that extra note page, it was just a waste. So that is working well. And so I have created my inserts, both my day on one page and my day on two pages for 2023, so that I can use the right inserts based on the season of life that I'm in at that time. My month on two pages, I love my dashboard and master tasks. I'm absolutely loving. I know that I've shared with you guys the improvements that I'm going to be making with, like, for example, my master task list. This is really, really busy, so it's much more simplified. I'll show you when in a bit. So I love having a dashboard for my monthlies, because the pre-printed monthlies that I've used in the past, primarily from Franklin Planner, as you guys know, it was an index. So I love having a dashboard where I can see at a glance things that are happening in the month. So that I love, that worked for me. Of course, my month on two pages, and then having that master task list. That's something from Franklin Planner that I fell in love with, and I brought it into my DIY inserts. So I love that. I do enjoy having a week at a glance for my overview. I don't need it all the time. So for 2023, I did not make my week at a glance inserts dated. They are undated because I'm not going to be needing them all year long. So for example, I haven't used them at all in December, and I think maybe the tail end of November. Just when things slow down for me, I don't really need it. So those are going to be undated, but I do really enjoy, especially during my busy seasons, having that week at a glance so that I can time block and see where I'm fitting everything in. I love having lots of note pages and having a notes section. My tab fell off, but my notes section is here. Wait, right here. There it is. There's my tab. I'm not bothering to fix it because I'm changing everything up in a couple weeks anyways, or today's the 23rd of December. So yeah, almost a couple weeks. But so I love having this note section, and it's no pressure, no specific topic. I love having a bunch of note paper. My favorite is the SM Plans grid printables, and it's just a spot for me, just whatever's on my mind, brain dump it, put it down on paper, and I have a specific section for that. And then when I need note paper for, let's say I'm working on a project or another area in my binder, I go to my notes tab, because that's where all of my note paper is. Because what I found what wasn't working for me was I would have like note paper in each section, and then let's say I ran out, or if I think like, well, I like this, but I want this to be this, these are from Cloth and Paper. These are the executive style note-taking sheets, which I love them. I love them, but I don't want to use them for just kind of like scratch paper, because, I mean, the quality is amazing. So that I found wasn't working for me. It's like, well, no, I don't want that note paper. Where's like something like this, for example, that I don't know what it is about these. I think because it's so structured, I feel like I need to have a topic. So let's say I'm planning for a meeting, or I'm planning content or whatever, like there's the subject, and then you can highlight the date, and then you So these I don't like for just scratch paper because it's so structured. So I like to have just note paper that is not structured, so that like there's no pressure, right, of what I'm writing on it. So yeah, so that was not working for me, is having note paper in each section. So yeah, so you'll see when I show you my setup that I have that note section specifically for notes, note pages. Okay, what else? Let's see here. Goal section. I absolutely have to have a goal section in both of my planners because I always want to know where to find my goals instead of having it, let's say, in a note section or my CEO section. It has to be specific to just goals. And then my CEO section is kind of everything else related to business. My goals is business goals as well as personal goals, and my CEO is just all business. So this is a great place for, I have a coaching call every 2 weeks with my coach. I keep all my notes in that section. 411 meetings that I have all my notes for my 411 meetings in there, and planning meetings, the topics and what we're going to talk about, everything is in that CEO section. And then I love having a me section. So in other planners, I've had like a personal section, and a health, like wellness section. So I've really enjoyed just having a personal section where it's everything. It's just everything about me. So this is my personal section here. Moi. And it's kind of wellness, self-care related, things like that, recording doctor's appointments. You know, if you've been following me for a little bit, you know, I'm diving into my human design, learning about my human design, my energy type, all of that. So like just notes, just all about me. And then when I go to the doctor, I've got, you know, I have all that information in here. And then I have my trackers. So if I'm going to do a no spend, or let's say I want to do like 30 days of yoga, you know, a yoga tracker, whatever, I have those in my personal section as well. And then I just had this, I don't know why that's in there, but I'll be changing that up for next year. That'll go in my just my regular notes section. Yeah, so I love having a me section, and it's just all things personal related to me. I love that. And then a spot for business cards and stickers and my ruler. So that is working for me. I love having this with me wherever I go. So no matter what binder I'm in, I have this ruler with me, right? So that's in there. What I love about these binders is there's just a lot of storage. So I have business cards back here because when I'm out and about and I need to give a business card, it happens quite often. I've got them right there. I have wipes for my glasses or my screens. Always have one or two of those with me. And then what I've also loved, I mean, I just put those in there yesterday. I don't often keep things in there. I do love about the Franklin Covey binders, especially the Vintage Auroras. You have this pouch back here, and then I just have like sticky notes and stickers. But then I added this to my planner as well. And I have stickers in here too. So that way when I'm on the go, I have what I will use most. So I really enjoy that. Not that I use stickers a whole lot, because I really don't in my planning, my day-to-day planning. But you know, when I have the urge to use a sticker, I like to have my pretty stickers with me. Yeah, and I've really enjoyed making my own dashboards. Like I've really enjoyed this. But you'll see, moving into January, I don't think I'm going to use DIY dashboards. But I think I've used them since, when did I start? September? I think I started in September, but I've loved them. And they're just so pretty. And I'm keeping them in case I want to use them again in the future. So these are my Christmas ones. Yeah, so what wasn't working? Okay, so that's everything that was working that I will be taking with me into 2023. What's not working was I had too much personal inserts that I wasn't using. So I did actually clean this up quite a bit when I was setting things up for January. But there's just so much stuff in that section that I'm like, why am I keeping all of this stuff? I'm not using it. It's not working for me. So yeah, cleaning out the clutter and only keeping in my binder what is useful and functional. My month on 2 page, I just explained that it needs to be formatted better. So my new inserts for next year, I find this was my first time. Like, I used a template on Canva and made it my own, and it's just too busy. So I've simplified it for next year. Yeah, so just need to be formatted better as far as my master task list and the layout of my month on 2 pages. And then I did redo my dashboard as well to make it more functional. And you can see like that I put my buy-sell plan in here. And the main reason why I did that when I'm designing it on Canva is so that I know where the holes are going to go, where it's going to get punched, what side that I'll be punching. So that's why I put that there, so I know. But look how far down it was. Like, and it's a different font than the rest. But you know what? It's all part of the journey. So, and like here, it's like cut off. Anyhow, each time I do them, I get better. So yeah, formatting needs to be, so I just went with it. I mean, it bothered me. It definitely bothered me. You can see like when I punched it here, it actually went, it like kind of chopped off the lines here. I mean, they're not perfect. I just used them because it wasn't like a really busy season anyways. So I just was like, I'm just going to deal with it. Because I was focusing on 2023 and I didn't want to backtrack and redo what I would, I didn't want to redo them when I was focusing on getting next year set up. So anyways, another thing, Franklin Covey Compact. I had some Franklin Covey Compact stuff in here. So it was unbalanced. So for example, these are Franklin Covey Compact. I printed these SM Plans printables when I was in my Franklin Covey, like everything was Franklin Covey compact size, and you can see it's more narrow. So I just didn't like how I don't like how unbalanced, like I hate that, especially when I'm flipping through, right? You're flipping through and you've got some sheets that are shorter than others or more narrow than others. I just find like then I would miss the sheet because I would just keep looking. I'm like, where is that sheet? And then when I finally get there, I'm like, oh, I didn't catch it with my finger because it's more narrow, like things like that. And I also had some deco. I had the business card holder, which I had photos in. I had that in here as well, more towards the front of my binder. And then when I'm writing, it was just unbalanced because it was shorter. So that wasn't working for me, so I just took it out. I'm like, why am I love the look of it, but the feel of it, I didn't like the feel of it, so I just took it out. Okay, and I did order, I don't have it written down on here, oh gosh, what's that shop? I ordered personal wide business card holder, jelly kind of dashboardy things that I can put stuff in. Catspresso Co, I think. I finally ordered. And she hasn't had personal wide in months because I've been looking for a long time. And finally she was restocked. So I'm like, I got to order this. I don't know where she's coming from. I feel like I ordered it like 3 weeks ago. I hope I get it before January. But anyways, so yeah. So I still want to have my deco, but I want everything to be the same size. Okay, so down here I wrote my project section, not using, not sure why I need it with me, not sure I need it with me, but you know what? I have been using my project section like crazy right now because it's all about 2023. Like, look at all my notes. Look at all my notes. So, I don't know, now I'm thinking I might keep it. We'll see. We'll see. I am going to go through with you my classic as well. And I do have a project section in here. So I'll explain how I'm going to use that in tandem with this. So that I'm going to have to revisit that one. Definitely loving the personal wide inserts and the smaller binder. Like, this is a joy to use. I love how it feels in my hand. I can pick it up with one hand. It doesn't take up so much room. It fits in pretty much like most. I have a few smaller purses, but my kind of medium size and bigger ones, of course, this fits. It's not too heavy to carry around. I just absolutely love it. Okay, I don't know why I wrote that there, because I wrote what's not working. So that really should go up there because that is working for me. The personal wide, and you know what, you guys, like you guys know that I've tried the Franklin Covey compact size binder for quite some time, but I think what gave me planner peace was the personal wide inserts. The Franklin Covey compact inserts were just too narrow for me, and I love, even though it's I don't know what, that much wider, like it makes a difference for me, and I have my planner piece now. Too many dashboards. I can't find information when I have too many dashboards. So for example, I'll have like this, and then you open it up and then there's like another dashboard. And so I want to keep it simple with, you know, the main things that I need in here. So for example, with this section, these are like all notes pages, and then I put this vellum in here to kind of separate the type of notes. So that I will continue to do. I think I also have one in my personal section. No, I took it out. I put the bookmark here instead. So this is sort of all my health notes, wellness, health, all of that. And then I had like a dashboard for the kind of like no spend trackers and, you know, that type of thing, but I put this here instead. But anyways, I think that's pretty much it. I don't really have one in my other, no. I mean, here right after my dashboard, I do have this. So, you know, maybe like right at the beginning of the section, but not every single section. I don't know. I just found it became too much. I had just too many. It was too busy, and I couldn't find information. So that's a rundown of what is working and then what's not working. And I like to do this a couple times a year because, you know, life gets busy and things just go in the planner. Yeah, so it's really important to take inventory, so that as time goes on, you know, you just kind of, it's like hitting that reset button to simplify things. So based on that, here are my planner sections that I have decided on. And this is the order that they will go in. For my personal wide is I'm going to have my personal section, and in here I'm going to have my kind of symptoms for like any medication. The only medication I take is thyroid medication, and I track symptoms for my cycle. That way when I go to my naturopath and I go to doctor's appointments, I am now seeing an endocrinologist. Yeah, so that could be a whole other video. But anyways, so symptoms for that, doctor's visit notes, trackers for no spend, health, wellness, etc. So that's what's going to go in my personal section. My CEO section is 411 and meeting notes, coaching notes, social media planning. I put via buckets. That I'm not sure that I'm going to be, I don't know. I've played around with that. And that's like, let's say there's 4 things that I want to, 4 topics or topics. Let's say it's like health and wellness, planning, real estate, I don't know. So those are like buckets, and then coming up with content for each bucket. I don't know, but I'm such an on the fly person that I've tried to do things like that, and then I post what's in my heart at that time. So anyways, that's kind of like an aside. I don't know if I'm going to do the buckets, but I like the idea of it. Goals. Quarterly goal planning. And then I crossed all of these off because I was like, well, why have those in my personal wide as well as my half letter? So I go back and forth on that because there will be times, like for example, in the summertime, I'm going to be at my cottage and I'll be working remotely as much as possible. So am I going to bring my half letter with me? I don't know. Because this past summer, I loved only having this with me. It was great. So now I'm like, but I don't want redundancy. I don't want to have the information in both binders. So, yeah, so I'm going to revisit that. My schedule section is going to be my month on 2 pages. I want 3 months at a time, not 12, because I don't want my planner to be bulky. Day on 2 pages, just 1 month at a time. Okay, my week at a glance, 1 month at a time. Of course, year at a glance and future planning as well. And then my notes section is just gonna be lots of note pages. This is where I'm gonna keep notes for seminars, meeting notes, brain dumping, you know, if these meeting notes or seminar notes are whether they're in person or online, just one spot to put them, like for when I'm on the go. And then project section, master project list, project planning, and notes related to projects, like research that I do, things like that. So that is my plan for my personal wide. This was me just doing inventory on what I had. Okay, so I will show that to you, and then we'll dive into my classic. So I think, don't hold me to it, for January so far, I'm thinking of going in this binder. This is the Sailor Blue Anna binder, and it is absolutely, it's just divine. I haven't been in this binder in a while, and I don't know, there's something about the color blue in winter that just seems to go. So this is just how it is so far. My Jane's Agenda subscription box will embellish all of this. I did do a sneak peek. There's a lot of teal, so we'll see how that looks with the Sailor Blue, because this Sailor Blue binder can pull purple. Let's see, where's that pen? So this is a cross pen that I got from the Franklin Planner website. It's a ballpoint pen. It's just beautiful. I used to use this pen in this binder before I got into fountain pens. But as you can see, there's purple in this pen, and I find that it really brings out the purple in the binder. But I mean, it can pull blue too. It's just gorgeous. It's just an absolutely gorgeous binder. I absolutely love it. See, this is Franklin Covey compact size. You can see the difference. But I just have it in here now so that my pages don't get bent. Of course, I would switch these rings out for 1.25 inch rings. These came with silver 1 inch rings. I will be putting gold rings in here. This is my dashboard that I made for winter. This will be for January, February, and March. Made it on Canva. It's pretty. And then I have my year at a glance. So I've decided to have these at the front of the binder instead of in my schedule section. I know in my planner sections here that I just reviewed with you, I have in here that I'll have those in my schedule section, but I think I'm going to keep those. It makes sense to have those right at the front so that when I need to reference the month, the date, I don't have to go through, and then my future log. That way, as things get booked, they just go right here. Yeah, so I made these on Canva. So pretty. Okay, and then a master task list as well. So then that way, when I do my planning, my weekly, monthly planning, well, mainly my monthly planning, I'll look here and then take, you know, what's in here that's relevant to that given month and put it in my master task list. So that's the idea with this, because I find sometimes tasks will come to my mind and it's for some time in the future. It's not the current month that I'm in, and I'm like, where do I put that? So I want to have just a master task list. This is where all tasks go, and then when I do my monthly planning, I will reference this to see, okay, what's relevant to this month. So I've got one of those in there. This is sterling ink. And I think what I'm going to do with these each month is just put them right at the start of like my sections in my binder. Again, it's just a quick reference, and it's so pretty. Okay, so as you can see, these are not DIY dashboards. These are from Jane's Agenda. They are stunning. I don't use them that often, and I want to use them. Again, it's just simplifying things. I'm heading into my really busy season, the first quarter of the year. The first 4 to 6 months is absolutely insane in my market for real estate. So I just need this to be simple. I don't want to be thinking about, okay, what dashboards am I going to make next month, things like that, because I'm not going to have the time. So that's what this is about. just keeping it simple. I don't think I'm going to put labels on here because I know what my sections are. I did have labels on here once and I didn't like them, so I took them off, and I don't want to wreck the tabs. So first section is my me section. This I got from Elamon Paper Co. Last year for 2022, and then I didn't really use them because it's so faded. It's blush, but anyways, I just thought I'd put it right at the front. I'm like, heck, this is actually a really good spot for it, right at the front of my personal section. Okay, and then I've got my doctor's appointments all ready to go for next year. Appointment log. This is actually, I mean, I don't use it. I used it when I started to use this. I used it like for a month and a half, and then I stopped. But I like to have an overview of like how many appointments, personal appointments I have in a month. So keep track of how often I go to the chiropractor, physiotherapy, things like that. So I have a couple of those. They're not perfect. Like that's bigger than this. I missed that when I printed these, but whatever. Health log. And this is mainly just symptoms. Going through perimenopause, you guys, is no joke. So just knowing my symptoms, and for me, it's, I need to pay attention even more so than the average person because I don't have a thyroid. I had thyroid cancer when I was 30, so I had my thyroid removed, and so I'm on Synthroid, and as my natural hormones change, the endocrinologist was explaining this to me, that my thyroid hormones have to change too, because I've been all over the place. My family doctor didn't know how to help me. So finally he sent me to an endocrinologist. So anyways, long story short, I need to track all of my symptoms. So that, and once these are full, like I'll redo, I might even take those out now that the template is done and I have it front and back, like kind of centered so that the holes won't punch through the lines. But anyways, yeah, so that's what these are about, is tracking all my symptoms. Okay, these I made too, reading list, podcast list. I want to keep track of this because sometimes like it's when I'm driving or if I go for a walk, I always listen to podcasts, and I want to, or like an audiobook. So I want to record it here because if there's a certain podcast that I really enjoyed, sometimes like I'm scrolling through my podcast on my phone, like what was that one called? And I don't, always remember. So I want to have a good reference of that. I was playing around with different shades of pink. So I've got them both in here. And I made this one bigger just to see which one I like better. I got a few of those in there, and then to track TV shows and movies. So I'm going to track in here TV shows and movies that I do watch, and then I'll rate them. Okay. My next section is my goals section. So I made a vision board for my wall, but I also made one for my planner. And I love this Mood CEO, and the color. Oh, just love it so much. And then I put my main goals on my vision board. This is from a scrapbook paper pad, and I just loved all the words on it. It takes great courage. Everyday life takes great courage. You can do it. Learn to cherish every moment, things like that. And I love the kind of vintage kind of vibe to it. So I thought that was appropriate for my goals section. And then on the other side, I put this is from a scrapbook paper pad that I have as well. So pretty. I'll show you what it looks like. So it's these just little, and like look at all the flowers, the florals. It's just stunning. I'll link it below if you guys are interested. Yeah, so then I've got my quarterly goal planning inserts. You guys are familiar with these. I kept these just black and white this year. For next year, instead of having the pink, just want it to be simple in case I do want to use stickers or highlighters, then it doesn't compete. So it's just nice and neutral. So that is all I have in my goals section at this time. This is from a scrapbook paper pad. This is the same as that bookmark I just showed you. I wanted this to be the front and I put the holes on the wrong side, whatever. So then I put this on the other side. This is from a different scrapbook paper pad. And of course the typewriter, that's my font. If you haven't noticed, it's the typewriter font. I'm obsessed with it. All right, so this is my CEO section. So this is where I'm tracking my business stuff. Okay, now on here, so I'm kind of contradicting what I wrote because I don't have that on here. I just have 411 and meeting notes, coaching notes, social media planning. But I think I've decided I want to have this with me because I'm not always going to have my classic with me. So I'm going to be tracking seller appointments, buyer appointments, social media growth, and my monthly activity numbers. Okay, so listing appointments, buyer appointments, social media tracker, activity tracker, and then this is going to be my breakdown for each month. Even though I have it here, I don't know. This is kind of redundant. After I did this, I was like, wait a minute. This for each month is going to be the same as this for each month. But what I like is that this is the whole year. So I'll be able to see how I'm doing. Anyways, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, so I made all of this on Canva. Okay, and then my closings. So I've got the whole year, made all of that myself as well. Okay, and then my schedule section. So this is my new dashboard. I'm going to be tracking, so my closings for the month, client birthday, well, all birthdays for the month, home anniversaries, social media focus for the month, and then my main focus for the month, and then any projects that need my attention that month. And then here's my new layout. Nice and simple, no lines. Let's just show you just for reference. See how busy this is with the boxes and the lines, and it was just too busy. So I simplified it. I also made the font lighter. This is like a black, and I made this like a gray. That way it doesn't compete with my pen, and it's just, yeah, it's going to be more pleasing to the eye. And then my master task list. So much easier to read. And I love it. So I have my January, and then I have all my January day on 2-page inserts. And then after the month, then we have February and March back here. So it makes sense. It made sense to me to have my monthly and my dailies together. So my weekly task list, that is the same as what I've been using. I did top follow-up. So who are the top people I need to follow up with this week? Work routines, personal routines instead of AM and PM routines, because so personal routines would be like AM routine, right? And PM routine. And what I'm thinking of doing, I have these cards from Cloth and Paper that I got a couple of years ago. I don't think they sell them anymore. So I think with my label maker, I'm going to put what my AM routines are and my PM routines, and I'm going to have them in my planner somewhere. So that way when I'm doing my personal routines here, it'll be AM routine, PM routine, and then keeping track of how often I'm doing those. And then my sharpen the saw, I'm going to be putting in here as well what my sharpen the saw focuses are each week, and then checking off as I'm doing them so that I can keep track. Like if, let's say it was, meditation, how often did I do my meditation that week? Right? If it's drinking, enough water, if it's, I don't know, quiet time, whatever those things are that refuel me and service me so that I can give more myself to other people, that's what that's all about. Okay, so here's my day on 2 pages. And they are dated because I didn't like how they weren't dated in my undated ones, and I had to date them, and it was a whole thing. Anyways, like I said, I'm going into my busy season. I just wanted these to be as simple as possible. So my schedule will go here. I took out the grid, just nice and clean. Top 3 tasks, and then I broke it into work tasks and personal so that they don't get all jumbled together. And then down here's where I'm going to be tracking my sales activity. So for contacts, ideally, I should be doing, and every real estate agent should be doing, a minimum of 20 contacts per day, minimum. So I have 20 circles. So either with a highlighter or just my pen, I can color them in with a highlighter as I do my contacts or check them off. I like that when I'm on the phone. I've got this open with me, and I find it helps me stay focused and motivated to do my calls, where I'm just circling in it as I go. And then I have at the bottom my metrics. So when the day is over, how many leads did I generate that day? How many appointments booked, listing and buyer appointments, appointments held, same thing, contract signed, and then firm deals. Okay, and then a spot for notes and a checkbox. And it continues on for 7 days. And at the end of each week, I have my week recap. For February, these inserts are, yeah, I printed the whole month out before realizing this. See how it's like the holes are on the line? So I moved everything over, and I had this on the wrong side. I'm telling you, it's not easy making your own inserts, and look at they're not lined up. Anyways, it's all fixed for my February inserts, so it's fine, but the function is there, and that's what's important. So I've got my totals and then totals as a team, our team numbers combined, and then breakdown and notes. So what I did for my breakdown is I put my 5 metrics in there, 6 metrics, and then Monday to Sunday, writing them in each day, and then my totals at the end of the week, and then what worked, what didn't work, sharpen the saw, how did I do with that, and how did I use my time? Like, how did I use my time? Just a quick little recap there. So I have that at the end of each week. All right, so that's I really love it, and I'm loving this pop of pink. Okay, next section, notes. So far I just have a few of these in here. I do need to print out SM Plans note pages, which I will do and put those in there. And then I don't have anything in here yet, but this will be my project section. So far, that's what I have. So I will do a full setup video when my Jane's Agenda comes in and I have everything printed. I just wanted to give you guys, since we are still in December, just sort of an overview in case this is helpful for you and you get some ideas for yourself. I wanted to share that with you, and of course I'll have my deco and things like that. Okay. And what I like about this binder, about the Anna binders, is they are wider than the Vintage Auroras. Because with the Vintage Auroras, the tabs kind of stick out a little bit, and the pen, and it doesn't bother me. It doesn't really bend my tabs, but the pen kind of sticks out. Whereas with this one, because it is, I don't know if you could see that, but it is just a little bit, just a smidge wider. So I feel that things are going to be tucked in here quite well. Okay, so let's go through. This is becoming a long video. I'm wondering if I should do this in a separate video. Let's go through it real quick. I'm not going to go through the what's working, what's not working with this, because I didn't really do that exercise. I just kind of went through, how do I want to use my classic in tandem with my personal wide. I have been missing the size, the half letter size, and I've been playing around this month. So what I'm thinking that I'm going to be doing, this is going to be sort of planning in real time. Okay. So if you watched my December unboxing for the Jane's Agenda themed box, it came with these plastic tabs. They had numbers on them for each month of the year. What I did is I put labels on them. So I've got my six tabs, 6 tab dividers. My goodness. And I love them. Oh my gosh, I love them so much. Again, it's all about simplicity. It's all about simplicity. And I've got my Jane's Agenda inserts in here as well, which still working that out. But anyway, so how I'm going to be setting this up, or how it is already set up, I pretty much have it set up the way it's going to be used. So my schedule section is at the beginning. All I'm going to have in here is I will have a year at a glance and a future log, okay, and monthlies. That's it. There's going to be no weeklies, dailies, nothing. This is strictly monthlies, and this is going to be real time. So this isn't going to be like a plan with me. This is going to be as things happen, it's going in here first. All right, so that when I do my planning, I'll have this off to the side while I'm doing my planning in my personal wide. So that's the idea with this. It's just to get all of everything from in my head out on paper. These were the Jane's Agenda ones. And then these are the ones that I made, and you can tell I didn't do a great job with that because of, look at that big gap, but whatever, I don't care. This is just going to be really simple and just real-time planning. The Jane's Agenda box that's coming does have month on one page for the entire year. So I'm like, that's cool, but we will see if I can deal with a month on one page. If not, I will use these. Okay, so that's all that's going in here. And this is, like I said, real time. So if something gets booked for March, it's going in here right away, right? Master task list, like it's all happening right away. CEO section. I do have a closings tab in here. My rolls and big rocks. And then planning for my meetings. This is going to be detailed planning when I'm at home, you know, because this likely won't be coming with me. Just, yeah, detailed planning. These came in my Agendio planner from last year. I'll put that video, I'll link that video down below if you'd like to check that out if you're interested in Agendio. So I do still have quite a bit of these left, so I'm going to be using them. Yeah, so like I said, this is just sort of me brain dumping. Okay, what do I need to talk about in my next meeting? And that's going to go in here. Okay, and then just notes from seminars and, you know, real estate related things. That's what's all going in here. Got some SM Plans note pages. Still have some Franklin Covey note pages, coaching notes, that sort of stuff. Just CEO related stuff. Okay, and then this is my recap section. So key performance indicators, which is what I kind of have in my personal wide. So that I'm still working out. I'm thinking like this is just rough. This isn't going to be, I'm not going to care so much if the printing is like really neat and things like that. This is just going to be, you know, because another thing too with my half letter stuff, like I know that I will be, there's certain things that I'm going to keep to reference in the future, but in my personal wide, I may not keep them. So having one place, you know, to have the information. This is all this year stuff. This will all be coming out and being probably shredded. So ignore this because this won't be going in the new planner, but here's my tracking stuff from 2022. Okay, so that's what my CEO section is going to be. My goals tab. I really like these Jane's Agenda inserts that we got in our sub box, so I'm definitely going to be utilizing those. So it's just, this is like planning ahead stuff, real time, as ideas come to my mind, right? And then they'll be more polished in my personal wide. Quarter 1, 2, 3, and 4 sheets. Okay, and then 2023 goals. One for me, one for Tyler. So yeah, so I'm gonna have my gross commission income goal here, percentage of my income that will come from buyer sales and seller sales, and then everything listed out. So therefore, how many contacts do I need to make that happen? How many appointments do I need to book? So on and so forth. And then this is breaking it down per quarter and per month. Okay, so that's going to live in here. I don't need to carry this information with me on a day-to-day basis, right? This is last year's GPS. Goal planning inserts. I was also going to have my GPS. Did I not print that out? I thought I did. Maybe it's still in here. This is not a GPS. This is, okay, maybe it's coming up. Okay, so I do have my 2023 goal planning inserts in here too. And what I'm thinking of doing with this is plan out kind of like what are my goals, right, for the year, and then just planning it all out. Probably do a quarter at a time, do all 3 months. And then in my personal wide, it'll be month by month because things can change, but just that brain dump is getting it out of my head and putting it on paper over the next 3 months. This is what in a perfect world, this is what it would look like, kind of like a draft. And then in my personal wide, and on my month-to-month planning with you guys is where I'll break things down. That's the idea with that. All right, and then these are all just notes. So, you know, for social media, things like that, that's going to stay. And then my notes section, all I have in here is just SM Plans note pages. That's it for now. And then I do have a me section in here. And this is where I'm going to track books that I want to read, TVs and shows that I want to watch. Okay, not ones that I have watched, but that I want to watch will go in here. These are from this past year. So any that I haven't read or stuff I haven't watched, I'll transfer to those new sheets and I'll store those away. Purchase trackers, just things like kind of personal stuff, order trackers, things of that nature. Lots of order trackers, gift ideas as they come to my mind. Okay, and then this is a dashboard still in the personal section to kind of break up that stuff, and this is more for like mental health kind of stuff, right? And then this is gonna be my level 10 life tracker that I'm going to use. Got this in the Jane's Agenda sub box. So cool, I can't wait to dive into this. This here is from Franklin Planner. This is where I need to update it, very behind, but this is where I'm tracking my rings. And the goal is to do at least 30 minutes of exercise as many times a week as I can. So I check off how many times I did do the 30 minutes. So this is kind of a nice overview. I won't be doing this again for next year, but it is kind of cool. It is kind of cool to see. So for the project section, I was thinking this is going to be very detailed goal planning. I got my Franklin Covey goal planning inserts. Right, this is more like, I'm good. I still want to have that project section in my planner because if we're out and about, you know, let's say we go to Lowe's or Home Depot, let's say we're doing a home project, it's nice to have my personal wide with me so that I can reference those notes. But this is like the heavy duty stuff is going to go in here, very detailed, tons of notes, things like that. Okay, so stay tuned for how this will evolve, because it will evolve. I'm really striving to not have redundancy in the two planners. There is some crossover right now, so I'm still refining. I just wanted to give you guys an idea of, you know, kind of what I'm thinking and where I'm going with everything. Just to give you some ideas. So I can't wait to have everything polished and to share the final result with you guys. Yeah, let me know if you have any questions at all, and I'm happy to answer. I will link below pretty much everything you saw as far as inserts and whatnot. I'll link below so that you can peruse in case you are interested in making any purchases yourself. But yeah, like I said, let me know if you have any questions at all. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.